And to our first conversation for the day, the federal government says efforts are being intensified to increase the number of skilled automotive workers to improve the adoption of made-in-Nigerian vehicles. Minister of State for Industry, Senator John Eno, said this at the inauguration of the National Automotive Design and Development Council's Training Center in Lagos, at the Lagos State University of Science and Technology, Ikorodu. We have more in this report.
The National Automotive Design and Development Council focuses on training and skill building in the Nigerian automotive sector through the development of national occupational standards, establishment of automotive training centers, and commissioning of modern training facilities nationwide. In a landmark step towards boosting Nigeria's automotive industry and empowering its youth, the federal government, through the NADDC, has inaugurated an automotive training center at the Lagos State University of Science and Technology, Ikorodu.
We push for, the full development of the auto sector in our country, as we increasingly push for the fact that we should have more and more cars assembled in our country. We also have to have the required skills that are ready for, that kind of situation. So what it is that the graduates of this institution now have a ready-made, opportunity and avenue for them to learn the skills and to get themselves prepared for industry. So this center speaks and answers the question of that challenge of mismatch between the training of our graduates and the skills, the technical competence that is required to function outside.
Nigerians have started becoming more conscious of not managing. They don't want to be managing and managing. So what they require are quality technicians that will either service their cars or repair their cars to the standard that is expected in Nigeria and internationally. That's one. And then the second thing are the industries that are producing vehicles, manufacturing vehicles. They too are looking for a pipeline of skilled technicians to work in their own factories and so on. So this place is part of that opportunity of producing those skilled technicians.
Director General of NADDC, Mr. Joseph Osonipin, announced that the council had completed 16 out of 21 planned training centers across the 6 geopolitical zones, with 3, including Lagos, already commissioned.
The first thing we are doing is to ensure that the experts are the ones using this facility. When the experts are using it, then they know the value and they know what it takes to maintain it. One. And number two, it's going to be used for training as well as commercialized. And in doing that, we are not going to run it. NADD is not going to run it. We are going to use partners, most likely Lagos State University of Science and Technology. They are going to use it for their research. They are going to use it for their lecture. They are going to use it for technical trainings. And then people from outside are still going to use it for commercial. And when all these are in place, then the fund generated here will also be used to maintain the facility.
The centers would provide training for artisans, technicians, technologists, and engineers, while also supporting the federal government's shift towards compressed natural gas-powered vehicles.
And joining me now for this conversation is the Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council, Mr. Oluwemimo Joseph Osonipin, live from our Abuja studios. DG, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining the program.
Good afternoon, Tolu. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, I think we should start with the objective. Why this center? What's the objective? What do you really intend to achieve with this?
What we want to achieve is capacity building. We need to up the skill of the technician and the technical people that work in the auto sector. So that's the essence, that's the major objective of the center, to provide a facility where training can be carried out. And then we need facilities that are modern, the facility that is going to be equipped with modern equipment, and that's just the main reason why we have this.
Now when you say capacity building and all of that. Sustaining this is also something that is very important because a lot of money is spent on that facility. How do you intend to sustain, maintain, and also make sure that knowledge is being shared and transferred?
Okay. We are already working with ICRC on how to concession those facility out to experts, to those that have the technical know-how on how to run training facility like this. So we are not going to do it on our own. So by the time we have the experts running it, they will ensure that those equipment there are well used, are well maintained, and they keep them and make sure that they are well taken care of. So that's the main reason why because we know we may not have everything what it takes to continue to maintain it on our own. So we are working on that, and at the appropriate time when we are through with ITRC, then the people, the entities that will manage them will be picked or will be selected based on the processes they are going through. So by the time we are through with those processes, the experts will emerge and they will manage the facility.
What about funding? I think I should ask you, because this costs a lot of money. How is it easy? Are you into any partnership of any form that you have been able to achieve this? Because now we are talking about electric vehicles, we're talking about CNG vehicles, and we need technicians to address these vehicles because the inflows from all across the country, across the globe, that's the way to go. Everyone is moving away from fossil fuels. So how are you trying as much as possible to make sure Nigeria is in tune, in line with international best practices?
Okay, for our partnership with private sector, we partner private sector really, because we cannot offer this service alone. For example, let me tell you, in training, we have our sector skill council. In that sector skill council, we have a lot of partnership with academicians, partnership with the manufacturers, partnership with technicians, partnership with different stakeholders. We have about 16 stakeholders. So based on that, we develop curriculum that are going to be used for training. What we did at our own level was to make sure that we train high-level facilitators. We call them assessors. We've just finished training some assessors now, and those assessors are those ones that are going to assess the trainers. So in doing this, it is not we alone that are going to be doing the training or be doing the assessing. So because we have trained enough people, private people, that's people in private sector that carry out this assessment. So we've done every other thing for them. So for partnership with other private sector is easier because we have already done the basic things to prepare the curriculum, the basic things to train those at that high level. So with that, individual can come in and use the facility for training. By the time we concession it out, the concessionaires are going to maintain, because they are going to run it as they are going to commercialize it and then run it well, so that from the fund they are having there, they will be able to maintain the facility and then we'll be able to partner. By the time we are again, let me mention something about partnership we are doing, because sometimes we go to the manufacturers who, through them, we train artisans, we train technicians, we train those people that work in auto sector. For example, if company A, for example, produce vehicle in Lagos, or company B produce vehicle in Nnewi, for example, those vehicles are going to be sold to different parts of the country. So we need these people, we call them together and say, we are going to use you to train people in Kano, we are going to use you to train people in Calabar, we are going to use you to train people in Lagos. Because by the time you train, you don't even know who is going to work on your vehicle. And you cannot provide after sales for your vehicle, it's going to affect the demand for those vehicles. So with that, it's easier for us to get private sector or those that are already in that field to partner with us and train the artisans. So it's easier for us to bring them together, they use their expertise, and they train them. Like the one going on currently, there is a training going on currently in Lagos, and that one is organized by us in partnership with Simba. Simba is one of the leading assembler of two-wheeler and three-wheelers in Nigeria. Also, we call them together. We need you to do this because there is a new technology in your product. You have brought in a new technology, especially CNG and some other things. New product, in fact, like they launched new products, and this new product have to be serviced. This new product have to be maintained. So we brought them, we asked them to come and train our people, and that's what they are doing, and that's what we are doing now. We've trained in Kano, we've trained in Ekiti, we are going to train in almost all the states of the federation, and that is part of the partnership we are having with stakeholders in our field, because we cannot do it alone. On our own, we will not be able to finance everything. On our own, we can't do. We don't even. Sometimes we may not even have the necessary technical know-how. But with this kind of partnership, we will only facilitate. With the partnership, they will provide the technicians, they will provide the engineer, they will provide every other people, the experts that are going to be used for training, and then they are going to provide their products, so that the training is going to be live. They use their products, the products that people are going to work on when they are on their own. They use those products to do the training. So these are the kind of partnership we are having with our stakeholders and the private sectors.
Interesting stuff. Now, tell us about the states where these projects are being completed and those that are going to be completed moving forward. How soon is it going to be around the 6 geopolitical zones? How many are we expecting across the country?
Yes, we have completed Bauchi, we have completed Yobe, we have completed Ebonyi, we have completed Oshogbo, and then like all those ones, these are the ones that are ready for commissioning. And then apart from that, we have training going on in some of these facilities. When we finish those trainings, for those that are going to operate those equipment, then those ones also will go for commissioning. Before the end of the year, we are ready to commission about 10 before the end of the year.
That's brilliant. This is obviously part of the National Automotive Industry Development Plan. Yes, I'm aware of that. That's the NAID plan. That's that plan that has been on, and the minister and, of course, your agency has been working on. What next after this phase?
Yes, what next is for what next concerning NIDP, or what next concerning the training center?
Yes, NIDP, yes.
Okay, for NIDP, what next is we are working with relevant government ministries and departments, and then we are with also private sector. So we are getting, we want to legislate, let me put it that way. We have the policy which has to be turned to law. We are working on it, and we have gone far with it. So we just, like today, I got letter from Ministry of Justice that they want us to respond to 1 or 2 things. And by that, after that, we'll be ready to take the draft bill to National Assembly for it to be passed into law. Where you ask, why do we need to do this? We know it's policy, but we want to go beyond policy so that we can have something like a law that's going to back up most of the activities that we have in that policy. We want to go beyond that. We want to legalize it. And that's the way, in fact, that's one of the conditions that the major OEMs are asking for. They want us to legislate it and not only make it in policy. So that's the next thing we are doing, and we are working on that seriously. We are pushing it seriously, and very soon we'll be able to accomplish that. So that's a major, it's going to be one of the major achievements if we can get it pass into law, and we are working on that.
All right, finally, before I let you go, can you tell us more regarding efforts being made to create that enabling environment for the production of made-in-Nigeria vehicles? A two-in-one question. Issues around parts, servicing, and all of that. What are you doing with regards to that? Creating that enabling environment so that even when the made-in-Nigerian vehicles flood the streets, we'll be sure of servicing and all of that.
Okay. Firstly, let's start with component parts development. For us to be able to produce Nigerian goods, Nigerian vehicle, most important thing there is the components, the component parts. Yes. Again, let me reinstate here. Let me say this: the vehicle, Nigerian vehicle, doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the one that owns the vehicle. For example, if a Toyota is producing here in Nigeria, it's Nigeria-made vehicle, but not Nigerian vehicle. So that we don't have the belief that it has to be designed and develop everything in Nigeria before it is made in Nigeria. So, but having said this, we have vehicles that are already being made in Nigeria, that are already Nigeria-made. For example, you have Innocent, you have Nord, you have Jet, you have Nef. All these ones are major brands that are Nigerian brands. So these ones are being made. And part of what we are trying to work with them for is how to identify components. We have identified components that can be made here in Nigeria. We have a committee working on this, and what the committee is doing now is to match those people that are producing those spare parts, and then those that are going to use the spare parts. And then we have challenges, the little challenges we have with the component parts manufacturer. We are also addressing it in time of funding and in time of standardization. So all these are what we are doing behind before we can use those components, because if you produce a component, it must meet the ISO standard and our own SON standard and then meet the specification of the OEM or the specification of the assembler or the specification of the vehicle manufacturer before they will take it off you. So all these are what we are working on. And gradually, as we are getting there, we are deleting those that we have certified that are good for use. So after this, then we'll be able to increase the percentage of local content in the vehicle. And going forward, part of the training you mentioned, how are we going to take care of the vehicle? By the time we have more vehicle on Nigerian road, how are we going to take care of them? So when the Nigerian First policy was announced by the president, we gathered together, especially those of us in the auto sector, and we said to ourselves, for us to be able to capitalize on this and be able to participate in this, first thing we have to take seriously is the issue of after-sales care. Because if you don't have that, no matter how government push first policy, it will not actually work. And because of that, our stakeholders have gone far in making sure that they start opening up centers. And that's the part of the reason we are having this training, because as they are opening up after-sales centers, we need people that can work on those vehicles. And that's why I mentioned the other time that if a company has a vehicle in Lagos, that vehicle may be in Kano, but we need to train those in Kano so that they will be able to work on those vehicles. They don't need to send that vehicle back to Lagos. That's one. And number two, because after sales apart is about having the technical ability to work on the vehicle and also have the necessary parts, component parts to use when the one there, one out. And that's part of what we are discussing with them too. Majority of our stakeholders, they stock up and they've provided parts, because we don't want a situation where a vehicle will be parked down for a week waiting for parts, and that also is being addressed. So gradually we are handling this, the issue of after sales and the issue of providing expertise as well as parts to service the vehicle. So gradually, and we've also discussed the issue of co-owning facility, because if a company don't need to own everything in a particular location. Yeah. 3, 4, 5 assemblers or manufacturer can co-own a particular facility, and then you don't even need, the facility don't even need to belong to you. We only need to train the owner of those facilities on how to fix your vehicle, and then let them have direct access to source of parts, to where they can get those parts. And that's what we are doing with this training we are doing now. That's why whenever we do training, we always make sure that the assemblers are there and provide necessary information about how to access those parts, so that when there is issue for them to address, they can easily address those issues without much delay.
Mr. Joseph Oluwawemi Sonny P, I must thank you so much for your time as always. A lot of work there cut out for you, but we'll keep having updates from you as events unfold. Mr. Sonny P is the Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council. He joined us from our Abuja studios. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tolu, for having me.